Hoi, it's louisity again, and for this video, I'm going to recommend books to WWE Wrestlers. Hurrah! So, as of the moment I'm filming this video, these wrestlers are still with WWE. I'm pretty sure they are because some of them are like their biggest stars, so it's unlikely that they're going to be released. So, this is another video in another video series that I have where I recommend books to WWE wrestlers. I filmed one in December 2021, so yeah, feel free to check that out. There are fantastic wrestlers and of course books as well that are recommended. And the reason why I decided to continue this at around this moment is because, as you can tell, and in my personal opinion, Wrestlemania 40 is like, if not the best, but like one of the best Wrestlemanias that we've had in a long time, or maybe even ever. So I was like, I was watching Wrestlemania and I couldn't help but just be thrilled with most of the results. So I was like, okay, let's just go for this. Let's just go for it and recommend books to some of WWE's roster. So yeah, let us begin. The first in this video is I want to do like the sort of announcement where he won in WrestleMania, and your new undisputed WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Yes, like I'd have to say, like when Samantha Irving announced that, it was very emotional, and it happens to be one of like the greatest moments of WrestleMania all time. Like finishing the story, British related, and I included Cody in this list because I know how he is involved in some like children's literacy programs. I remember there was one time when he was with AEW, he had this like photo op where people just have to bring books in order to take photos with him. It's really wonderful, and I remember like this part with WWE where they collaborated with Pearson's, if I got that correctly. Cody took part of it together with Stephanie McMahon and AJ Lee, and he mentioned that one of his favorite books is like Where the Wild Things Are. So I felt like this book that I recently read and listened to an audio would be something that would captivate him. That would be The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. So this is kind of like horror, fantastical elements going in, which I looked up like Where the Wild Things Are. It does talk about, they're kind of far, but I just feel like the vibes of like the Graveyard Book is kind of like similar to Where the Wild Things Are. So I haven't read Where the Wild Things Are, but I think that either way, Cody is gonna enjoy The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. The next in this list would be Rhea Ripley. Now she's someone, like, to me personally, that grew like the way that she was able to portray her character on TV or on WWE shows, I should say, because I know some of you all are not watching it via TV. So yeah, basically the way Rhea portrays like her character with the Judgment Day and being like the women's world champion is just so fierce. Like, I felt like, based on that, I'm going to recommend Rhea like a book where, it's like a badass female lead, because she's giving that vibes of a badass female lead. And I also looked up a list in Goodreads that have like badass female leads, and for me personally, among the books in that list, the one that really captivated me and I can vouch a lot would be The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson, which is the first book in the Millennium Trilogy. Now, if you've been watching my channel, Millennium Trilogy for me is just Millennium Trilogy, okay? It stays with 3 books, even though if it's incomplete. And yes, rest in peace, Stieg Larsson. Yeah, but Elizabeth Salander, she's like really unapologetic, and she's fierce. Like, she is someone that you wouldn't want to mess with, kind of like with Rhea. And I think that Rhea will enjoy this one, especially if now, hopefully, she does have a lot of time to relax. All the best to her. I know right now she's out with an injury, so all the best to her. And maybe this is her time to probably listen to an audiobook or read The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's kind of a thick one, but hopefully, if Rhea gets the opportunity to read The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, then yeah. And if she does want to watch the movie, I would say read the book first before watching the movie. Up next is your new WWE Women's Champion, Bayley. Now, I kind of miss her hugger gimmick, and even with her new role and turning face recently, she still has that inner strength, kind of still this strong, woman vibes. And I'm thinking of a book where it is serious yet light, kind of contradictory, but there are books that are able to execute that, or there are ways to execute those kind of themes and create some sort of a balance or a mixture, a combination of it. And usually you would read that, or you would encounter books that are middle grade or preteen, that are serious or subtly serious yet light. And I'm going to recommend Bayley, a book that I read earlier this year, and I have a reading vlog of it. Front Desk by Kellyanne. I'd say in terms of the serious themes, or the subtlety of the serious or challenges that we're talking about here, would be the challenges of immigrants being discriminatory against race, or racial discrimination is also tackled in this book. And it was tackled in a way that was light. It wasn't too overly emotional, perhaps because this book is intended for younger audiences. It's a middle grade or preteen book, so there was some sort of hopeful vibes with it. And the way Mia Tang it is portrayed here, you can still see her being a child, not trying too hard to grow up or anything, because of course this is meant for middle grade or preteen, kids gotta be kids. So this is the first book in the Front Desk series. Now, I'm not so sure if you have to read this one in order to read Three Keys or any of the next books, or if you have to read them chronologically. But I prefer reading them chronologically. Comment down below if you've read the other books as well, if you think that it should be read chronologically. But yeah, I think in there are different friendships already in the succeeding books, so maybe at least the little glimpse that I saw about Three Keys, because I'm excited, but I couldn't find a copy here in the Philippines that also matches, let alone matches this one, the format. But yeah, so feel free to comment down below your thoughts on the series, if they should be read chronologically or not. But yes, it's something that I would recommend Bayley, because it gives you this warmth hug, yet it's not so light, you know what I mean? And even Bayley as an adult, or even you as an adult, if you are watching this as an adult, can read this one. And the last WWE superstar that I'm going to include in this video is someone who grew on me. She wasn't exactly my favorite during the beginning, but towards the following years, I started liking her, and she is Zelina Vega. So I feel that Zelina, even as a person, is someone who is wise and very intelligent, and someone who really cares for people. I remember she mentioned about hearing unions' rights. So I think that she's someone who really values people. And I was thinking of an author that has deeper themes about like feminism, although I know I'm going to be mentioning a male author, okay? And I'm also thinking about some of the books that I read about it, but you can also comment down below which other books you can recommend in relation to this theme. But I will be recommending Zelina, Veronica Decides to Die by Paulo Coelho. Now, this is one of Paulo Coelho's works that I don't really hear a lot. I mean, pretty much in terms of Paulo Coelho, the first book that comes into our minds is The Alchemist, and some people would mention 11 Minutes. But I just love how like quirky this novel is. This tackle about like mental health, mental illness. So be cautious about that when you're going to be attempting to read this. And also suicide as well is also mentioned here in this book. So you just have to be also careful and be warned about it when you're going to be reading this one. But yes, it talked about those themes, and like the way that Veronica's characterizations here, I remember rereading this like years ago, and I was like, it was just like odd but in a satisfying way. So I think that Zelina is going to enjoy reading this one. Feel free to comment down below which books are you going to recommend, any of these wrestlers, or if you have any other WWE wrestlers in mind that you would want me to recommend books to, or feel free to comment down below which WWE wrestlers are you going to be recommending books to, and what are those books. So yeah, if you also have made it this far, leave like a plate with a fork and a bread knife emoji. So I hope you folks enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. Also put down links and handles of my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there and support me there as well. As always, thank you super much for watching. Let us continue seeking for wisdom. Always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye y'all.